Oscar Mike Radio is a proud podcast partner of Reach Across America Radio, heard every Thursday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're also big supporters of the nonprofit I Got Your Six, Two Lives at Once. And with every wreath you sponsor through Oscar Mike Radio, $5 goes back to this great organization dedicated to making a difference in the lives of veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, and first responders battling PTSD. Two Lives at Once pairs these brave men and women together with dogs rescued from kill shelters. In this way, two lives are saved at the same time by saving each other. Donate now. Go to reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio to help. That's reachacrossamerica.org/Oscar Mike Radio.
Dead ass. Serious. I would hate me too. Look at me. Think he the shit. This nigga don't even increase his Air Forces. What the f***? Shut the fuck up. You lying.
I know you're crazy, but I only wanna be with you. You think I'm shady cause I'm out here trying to make some moves, but it ain't like that. Just know that I'll be right back. I'll give you all my time just to let you know you're mine. It ain't nothing. Promise I'ma do it all to give you something. This love I got is only for you. You're my comfort, my future husband. I'ma give you all my heart, yeah, all of it, yeah. baby, I know that I gotta come fix it. You the only nigga that I be missing. Swear I'm coming home to give you the business. Turn off my phone, it can leave me a message. I'ma just cover your body with kisses, kisses. Rub your body down, you know that I miss it, miss it.
Glasses in the air, toast to a higher power. Cause what you tuning into right now,
sit down,
is Lito's happy hour. Lito's happy hour, this is where it's at. Raw and uncut, we giving real facts. Educating, entertaining all the people. And when it come to podcasts, it ain't nothing equal. Giving people knowledge they can put in action. All the way authentic, we ain't never capping. Exclusive interviews, cause we ain't never lacking. The other niggas talking and we bout the action. Glasses in the air, toast to a higher power. This is Lito's happy hour.
Hi, Auntie. You're supposed to babysit us, right?
Turtle! I haven't seen you since you were small.
How does someone live like this?
It's like a giant treasure chest, Mert. Auntie! Where should we put our stuff?
Anywhere you like.
Brace ya, Mert!
All yours.
Come on, Mert. Look, there's even a camera for your nerd projects.
It probably needs batteries.
Tour of the Horta House, day 4. Here's Lorna's junk. Ugh. And here we have a wild Thea. So vain it spends all day staring at itself.
What do you want, Myrtle?
You've been cooped up here for days. What are you even doing?
What does it look like I'm doing? Makeup, okay? Leave me alone.
Fine. Be a hermit like Lorna. I don't care. Thea? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Are you talking to yourself?
I'm fine, Myrtle. Just go. I won't do it.
Isn't it nice out here? Did you know that thing? Thea? Thea! What's wrong?
There's a girl in the mirror. She won't leave me alone.
It's just a mirror, Thea. We'll call Mom and Dad in the morning, okay?
Okay.
Thea, stop! It's not real!
No. What are you doing?
It's just an object. None of this is real.
Methoid! 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 Methoid!
Welcome to Happy Hour with Lito. I'm your host. Today is always a special one whenever we get a chance to talk. For me, because when I first started, Mena was one of the first people to say okay and say yes to, to being a guest on my show, and I deeply appreciate that. Filmmaker, film producer, director. What am I forgetting?
Writer. Sums it up, Just I guess overall filmmaker, I try to keep my hands dirty. So
for sure. None other than Miss Church of Mena herself, Mena Guy.
Hello, how are you? And
how you doing?
Thank you so much for having me on again. It's always a pleasure. We always have a good time.
Always have a good time for sure. Yeah, so what's been going on your way?
To be honest, I've been working and living life and trying to enjoy the seasons. Now it's May officially, and the weather is finally working up. But for me, I hate pollen. So it's like the only thing that like kills me every time. So yeah, I'm just trying to get by.
I understand that pollen is definitely crazy this time of year. My eyes itch, I sneeze all the time, coughing all like out the blue.
I thought I was
people
sick.
Be like, "Are you sick?" No, I'm not.
Yeah. I thought I was sick for a while because it was pretty bad. But I took even Dayquil because I was like I felt it in my chest, but it didn't affect me. And then I realized I was like, it's just the high pollen count. That sucks. So I mean, if you're out there suffering, I feel your pain.
Yeah, pollen sucks for sure.
It sucks, When I lived in Florida, I didn't really deal with this. I think it's one because the pollen's different there, but also the weather's pretty like similar all year. And that's like an effect. Like pollen is more of an issue when the plants grow, they're releasing their spores and whatever. But yeah, in Florida, never had to deal with that. When I moved to New York, Yeah, dying.
Yeah,
So I do miss it sometimes, but yeah, no, I'm happy to be here.
for sure, for sure. So I always ask, what I'm saying, 1 to 10, with your mental wellness, where you at today?
Today, I'm doing pretty well. I would say my mental health is like at a 7. I
That's
think that
good.
I just lowered it because the pollen has been debilitating, so it's tough to do some work, but I've been pushing through. But other than that, things are looking pretty good. You know, can't complain. Doing work. I've been getting some like random magazines hitting me up for interviews, which has been cool. I like talking to people, so it's always fun. But like I had to, drug myself up on Dayquil and whatever, not Dayquil, sorry, Zyrtec and all this, like, because I'm like, let me just clear up my head so I can talk, so it's like a good and bad thing. I'm like, one, people want to talk to me, but then two, they want to talk to me at the worst time. But I'm cool right now because it's not as bad for me today. So I'm here, I'm conversing. But yeah, I mean, like, things are pretty okay for me. I'm doing well. How about yourself? How's your mental health?
I'm doing all right. It's probably I stay around a 6, 7 all the
Good,
time
good.
anyway. I mean, so of course it can be higher, but um
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. Just,
If I
I
was on a
try to stay
vacation in the
even keel.
Bahamas, my mental health would probably be higher. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
I was saying I try to stay a little like even keel pretty much, never get too high, too low.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. No, that's always good, be mellow.
Yeah. So I
I
wanted
appreciate you talking about mental health. I think it's really important to check up on your friends. You never know who might be going through something.
exactly. And we always were told like, check on your strong friends because, those they are the ones that's usually checking on everyone and nobody's checking on them.
Oh, it's true. People like with the biggest smiles hide, behind it, Like it's unfortunate all these celebrities too where you thought like they were so happy and they were doing really well, but we never know what went behind closed doors. We only see pictures of them being happy and what they put out there. And it's kind of the same for your positive, like really confident friends, They put off this vibe that they want to show off, bring this positivity to everyone, but like they're not showing themselves.
I agree. I wanted to ask you something. So I
Yeah.
went back and I looked at our very first podcast that we did,
Awesome.
right? And and like it's kind of like you went through like an evolution.
Me?
At that time, you had like candles behind you. You had
I
a
got
like
lazy. I used to be more theatrical. Now I'm like the pollen is affecting me. So yeah, I just got lazy.
I just remember seeing that like the candles was all behind you. You had like a certain type of light. You was in a dark room. I was like,
I'm gonna bring it
ooh.
back one day. Yeah, yeah.
You had your hair down.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no. You could. I'm lazy. It's really the truest thing. I was like, let me make this image for myself, and it's not because I didn't want to be myself. That is me, but it's my
Mhm.
artistic, version of myself. I'm like, let me be theatrical. Let me put my art, in everything. And now I'm like, let me just converse, like because
Mhm.
it's still the same me, still everything, but it's like just more of like a comfortable level instead of like so yeah.
Gotcha.
But I'll probably spice it up. You're gonna like cast one day and I'm like, I don't know, in this really awesome set where I put effort into it. Nope, right now we chilling.
That's what's up. So let me ask you, like, so where
Okay.
where did your passion to make the type of movies that you make, or short films, whatever you want to call them, where did that passion come from?
Um, I mean, I've always just like storytelling, I think because as a creator, you're making a world. You're making a different setting. You're making essentially a different universe. Even if I was writing a short film about New York, and it's here, this is my version of it. This is my version and how you can see from my eyes what I want to depict it as. I'm forcing people to see how I see things, and I think it's It's really cool. I started diving into a little animation, not animating it myself, but like working with animators, including my brother, who's a 2 and 3D animator. Um, we made a project together. It's called right now working title Mirror on my channel. I'm gonna get a better title for it, but that's just working right now because it's a concept. But it's like I think 10 minutes long and it's an all animated thing. And what's really cool about that is when you storyboard things, when you make the world, you physically draw out how you want people to see it. Like this is the truest form of like how you can really get someone to see exactly what you're thinking. Like, in film, it's like I could create a world and stuff, but not everything goes like to plan. You got to improvise sometimes and just make the day work, make sure you get a film. So
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, at with animation, it's cool because I'm like, I get to draw and show you exactly the universe that I want to make, But also with film, it's really fun because like you'll see things like also these older films like Star Wars and stuff where they did the practical effects and they're like, I'm gonna physically make this monster. So it's like it's really cool just being able to express that with other people.
Nice. Okay. And like, so growing up, did you see, were there certain films that just made you um say, I'm going to do that? Like, was there certain things that you watched that was like, yo, I'm going to do that one day?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of a specific film that like really hit me, but I will say that like I did get a lot of inspiration from like fantasy movies, although I am a horror producer. I think fantasy really got me into it with the idea of movie making because it's like people were able to create complete other worlds. You see things like there's a monster in Pan's Labyrinth and it's like someone took their thought and physically created it and put it right there in front of you and you're able to just watch what goes on in someone else's mind, watch this story they made. So the idea of that, the idea of creation from like these fantasy movies, things like that, or even like I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like even the Marvel movies and stuff, like superheroes with their powers and using practical and CGI effects to create something. It's like, here's something that can't exist, like some dude throwing laser beams out of his eyes, like Superman,
Right.
or whatever, whoever in the Marvel universe could do that. But it's like that's not real, but I can make it real for you. And so being able to kind of bend reality, in that way, even, it's different. It really feels like you're going somewhere else, bringing some people somewhere else. So yeah, seeing movies like that really inspired me to like dive into it. And I think just my interests with dark literature, um, you know, and folklore. Folklore was a big deal. Really brought me into making horror films because there's like a blend. Like, I mean, I like horror where it's like psychological horror. I think I mentioned that a couple times on your
Yeah, I
pod.
was going to go into
But
that. Yeah.
yeah. But I love like throwing a monster in here and there because the thing is, it's like it's fun, you know? Even if it doesn't necessarily scare me, I'm like, it's fun to do. Like, here's this like crazy monster, because I can make that happen. We have people who are incredible makeup artists, SFX artists who can like physically design that and bring it to life. So it's like, why not if you can just bend reality and do that and bring this creature to life? Like, there's so much fun with it. So I'm really blessed that I was able to make a career out of this type of stuff.
Okay. I was going to ask you, like, so you like to make like the psychological horror, like that's like your, and there are plenty of movies, right, that are reference.
Sure,
Um,
yeah.
let's see. Um, Black Swan.
Black Swan's an amazing movie. And I think that it was inspired by a Japanese animation too. I forget the name of it. I think it was Perfect Blue. Let me look it up. But yeah, that
Okay.
was also a wonderful psychological thriller. Um, and it was close to how kind of Black Swan was, because of
Hmm.
the inspiration. But I would absolutely recommend that for people. Yeah, it was called Perfect Blue. It was
Okay.
a Japanese animated movie. It was really dark and psychological, but it was brilliantly put together.
Nice. Um, well, how you feel about The Shining? Have you ever seen that?
Ah, it's a classic, you
Yeah.
know. Shining is a great movie. It really made you feel what the character was going through in the madness, you know. But I've always been meaning to read the book actually because I heard that the movie left out some things. And you know, that always happens with every movie because how are you supposed to fit like a book with hundreds of pages into a screenplay? You know, you highlight the best parts and to make the story make sense, but like all the other little details and stuff I would love to read the book for that.
Nice, for sure. Um,
Yeah, there's
one
also like Shutter Island, you know, that's a good one. People
Shutter
love
Island.
Shutter Island.
Hmm.
It's popular for a reason, you know, like it was very entertaining and
Hmm.
I think Leo did a great job in it.
He did. He did. Silence of the Lambs is another one.
Yeah, fantastic classic movie, you know.
That was crazy. I mean, that was a crazy movie. When I
It
first
was
saw that,
crazy.
I think I was scared. Like when I first, I was like, "Yo,
There's I
The
think
Shining scared me though."
yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
The Shining was a great movie. The acting was fantastic in it, and especially like the child, like you know, I'm always surprised when I see fantastic child actors.
Hmm.
You know, like how are you so young, but you can portray all this emotion, you know? But I guess also kids, like they're so used to playing pretend and getting into characters.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
That's true. I'll tell you a story what happened to me. So I was asleep one day. This was probably 2007,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell asleep with the TV on. And next thing I know, I heard that the music that's on The Shining,
Mm-hmm.
and my TV was up loud. Like,
Oh,
or
it just all of a sudden started going.
yo, I woke up scared. Do you know what I mean? I jumped up out of my bed, like looking for the remote. Like, yo, turn the TV down.
That's
I went
crazy.
into the living room. I'm looking around the house. Like, I'm looking outside.
It's so funny. No,
I was like, yo,
I
I
would
think I'm
be
about to
freaked out
leave for a little
too.
bit.
You believe in ghosts?
For sure.
You're like a parent, yeah.
For sure.
I'm
I've seen
sure.
one before.
Have you? You have a ghost story. Do tell.
Okay. So me and my little brother, we were I think it was a Saturday morning. Yeah, it was a Saturday morning. We were at where my mom see my mom was living in the place where her and her siblings grew up, right?
Okay.
So we all were living there as well. What happened was my mom was real sick at the time,
Mm,
and she her so my room was like right next to hers, and me and my little brother was in that room. And so my little brother said, he said, Kevin, I'm like half asleep. I'm like, huh? He's like, you see that? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? So I'm
yeah.
half asleep. I open my eyes some and I look in our doorway, and it was like it was like a like a white silhouette, kind of.
Really? Like,
Look like an old man,
was
like an
it
old
like
man.
very white, like glowing, or like, you know, you could just
It wasn't
tell
like it wasn't like it was like
faded?
yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And I remember looking, and he was like, bruh, like, and he was half asleep too. So I'm like, man, you tripping? Go back to sleep. So woke up. We finally woke up. My mom confirmed it, and she said, "Did y'all see that old man in my doorway?"
Really? Your mom said that too?
Hmm. And my little
That's when
brother,
you
like,
know it's like that's when it brings you to reality.
yeah,
That's scary.
my little brother was like, yeah, me. I woke Kevin up because I was like, I didn't know what that was, and she
Yeah,
said he.
I'd freak out.
She said he looked at her, he smiled, and he just waved, but his wave was like real slow, like this.
That's so creepy.
And he had like a cowboy hat on or something. And it was so weird because they grew up there. So they ain't never I don't know what happened in that whole situation. But like
Wow.
after that, I was tripping, like, yo, I mean, that was a
No, that's
crazy
that's pretty
situation.
insane. Did you guys ever find out like any history of the house or stuff like who this person might be? Or did you just kind of like say like, you know what? That was weird and move on?
That was like the first and only time that we saw him.
Yeah. You never wanted to like look into
Not
it
too
though?
long after that, right? It's crazy. Not too long after that, um, up in like the attic area, which we never go in.
Okay.
I had went off to college, and my mom said that like half of the house had lost electric, like out off the blue. Like
Really?
they said it was an electrical fire in the walls, and it was just half of
That's
the house. I was like, yo,
that's pretty insane.
yeah. I mean, we should have called Ghostbusters, but
Yeah,
you
they've
know,
they've said too that like the paranormal kind of affects electricity and electric lines. I
mm,
mean, I don't know. I've not had an experience myself. I feel like I'm kind of disconnected from that. You know, some people have easier connections with the paranormal, but I've never seen anything. So I was always like suspicious of it, but that's a crazy story. I remember
yeah,
I would try to actively go out and try to see if I could find ghosts. Like I went into this abandoned insane asylum where people thought it was like haunted and stuff like that. Yeah, I live pretty close to it. It's called Letchworth. It was on Ghostbusters. So I was a ghost whatever that show, Ghost Hunters,
yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
So I go there and I'm like, okay, if they've seen stuff here, local people have said the same stuff here, there must be something. So I'm there, also at the middle of the night. It's like perfect time to see a ghost. I didn't see anything, but I think the scariest thing for me was just running from the cops because I was like, I'm not gonna get caught for illegally breaking in.
Hmm.
But you know, nothing paranormal. It was cool to explore because it was like stepping into history that was kind of frozen, you know? Like the place I think was and don't quote me on this because I don't know the exact date, but it was like something like the 19 like like 70s or something that it like really like shut down. And so like there's a bunch of stuff that was pretty dated. And then like there was a stage area and it was all just like nothing has touched it. It was like decaying. There was
Hmm.
a classroom just completely frozen, you know, like decaying parts, but there were some artifacts still. Like here's a book. Um, here's even a log of some patients, you know, we saw bedrooms. It was pretty nuts to like see, you know, it's kind of like when you go into a ghost town. It's like you see something that like nobody necessarily took their stuff out. It's just frozen here. And a part of time. So it was cool exploring, but no, I didn't see any ghosts at all.
There's a bunch of places here in Ohio that are that people go and explore. So
Yeah,
if you
like
ever come
rivers.
to Ohio, like there's like a whole book
Really?
of
Is
places.
it like a historic area, I guess? Like lots of history where they
Hmm.
I mean is keep their historical buildings up, I guess. Yeah.
Hmm. I went one time with my brother and his friends. There was this castle, and it was on a street with no lights, and it was abandoned. And they were saying that the family, I don't know if they passed or what, if they sold that. I think they moved out because of uh, the paranormal activity that was in
Hmm.
going on in the place. And
They moved out because of the paranormal activity. That's
yeah,
crazy. You know, I'd be upset. I'd be like, I just bought this house. I just spent a bunch of money. Now I gotta move because there's a ghost.
I mean, it was. I mean, so
I'd be so mad.
um, my brother's friend was uh, a Wiccan,
Okay, yeah.
so
Wiccan.
he could sense certain stuff. So we was with him, and I remember he had on this black long like jacket, and they got out the car for a second. Now me, I'm like, yo, I know what happens.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No.
I've seen enough movies to know like I'm not. So that like one of them actually, so he would actually went into the gate. My brother was like, "Yo, I'm not going over there," and then the other homie was like, "Yeah, I'm not going over there either." So we just got out the car and we stood where the car was, and he kept
Yeah.
going. The wind started blowing real crazy. It was getting darker. I
Oh
was
no,
like,
no. I'm
"Yo,
out of there.
I was like, yo, can we go? Because and then the guy driving, he was like, yeah, I think we should go. So they start calling John's name. And at first he wouldn't he wasn't coming back. He wasn't saying nothing.
Right.
And I was like, hey, if he don't if he don't come back, like we just gonna have to leave. Because that means I'm not going to look over there to see what happened.
Right.
But he
No,
ended up coming back and he said he felt some energy uh,
it's like
or something like
perfect. Are
that.
we booking? Because like
Yeah.
that's a horror movie star, and I'm not about to be the protagonist in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
watching
not
that shit.
no. I'm not
No,
about to be in a horror flick going in
no.
there trying to find y'all in this house.
I'll watch
Or it's
it,
a
but I'm not
castle
about to
at
be a
that.
part of it.
Right.
That's interesting. It's like a cool thing to hear. Like if my buddy wanted to go do that and like look at ghosts and shit, I'd be like, all right, cool. But once I sense that there's an entity, I'm like, no, I'll take your word, bro. I'm gonna leave. Like I'm good.
What'd you think of the Sixth Sense when you first
Oh,
saw that movie?
I love that movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
Very cool plot twist at the end.
it was. I agree. I was just looking up like the top um well they call them mental illness horror movies or whatever, but the best horror
Mm.
movies that explore mental illness, and that was on there. Along with let's see, the Babadook. I never seen that.
I actually have not seen the Babadook, but I have heard a lot of positive reviews from it, and I did hear that it explores mental health in like a good psychological thrillery type of way. But I
Hmm.
can't really have an opinion since I didn't watch it. So
They have Get Out on there
Get
as
Out's a good
one.
movie. Does it explore mental
Uh,
illness? I thought it was
yeah,
just
that's what
like
it says. It
racism.
says yeah, I mean, having to be someone you're not, where's on your mind. Basically,
Is that mental illness though? Because
right.
like I feel that's a bit of a reach. I
Yeah,
mean,
it might
you
be.
could say that the villains were mentally ill because like they're a little fucked up, but I mean, I don't think it's necessarily tackling a mental like trying to that's not the focal point of the movie. Like, but
Yeah,
you could psychologically analyze any villain and say what's wrong with them. But the point of that movie was like racism and like the social issues and stuff. And Jordan Peele did it in a fantastic way of making it like a tasteful horror film for anybody to enjoy, where it's not just shoving issues down your throat.
right. Did you ever see this movie called Infinity Pool?
Yes, I did see Infinity Pool. It was really weird.
Yes, it
It was really
was.
weird. Yeah. I did not expect it to take the turns that it did. Um, it was entertaining, but I really was like, what the fuck? I thought the cinematography, I thought it was really well done, like the performances and stuff. I did like the masks and the costume design. I thought it was really entertaining, like seeing how people are rich and bored, just doing shit. And I don't
Yeah.
it's not my favorite movie, but I definitely enjoyed it. And I saw it actually at this really cool theater in Brooklyn called Black Hawk Cinema.
Okay.
And um at Black Hawk, they make you cocktails based off of the movie. So I sat down and obviously you pay for it, but like I sat down to order a cocktail and it was named after the book that one of the characters wrote. So they made it specifically to like the niche of the film. You can order food there. Is really cute. I appreciate when movie theaters do that. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, movie theaters are gonna go out of business or all this, but I think revamping and making it like more of an experience like that, absolutely. I would go like every week if I could. They made it fun. They kind of just took the idea of like dinner and a movie for a date, put it together, but spiced it up by like making it personal to the movie. So it was really cool. But yeah, no, it was weird film. I feel whenever you see Mia Goth in something, it's gonna be weird.
I agree. I agree. Have you seen um them? Have you seen that yet?
I have seen them. I will say that I
The
like.
first and second season, or you just watched the
Oh,
first
oh,
one?
oh, I thought you meant No, never mind. I didn't see them. I saw Us. I saw
Okay.
Us. Yeah. I did not see them. I saw you recommended it to me and I'm down to watch it. Just haven't had time. But
That is a mental
it
like
looks cool. You liked it?
well, and you don't even have to watch the first one is like let me just say this.
Go ahead.
The first one is hard to watch. The first series. Like
Why? Like, you gotta like
100%.
sit through it type thing.
You don't have to watch the first one to understand the second series.
Are they disconnected?
Yeah, well,
So you know how American Horror Story, it's like different each season.
yeah, and that's how them is. But
Oh,
at the
interesting.
at the end, I say I don't want to give away I think if you watch the second one, the first one, even though the lady that's in the second one is in the first one,
Yeah.
it's two different stories. So they don't really like they do tie in, but like the first series is very hard for people to watch. It was so hard for people to watch that they turned it off. They didn't like after
Damn.
like first or second episode,
I'm
they
surprised
ended
they
up
got a second season if people found it hard to watch.
yeah.
Yeah, so good for them with the funding because usually shows get nixed. And there's been shows out there that people really liked, but
Mhm.
then like they just didn't get the funding they could. So it's funny like seeing a show where people were like trying to get through the first season
Well, I'll
and
give
it
you
made
a
it.
about the first one. I'll tell you something. You still, if you wanted to watch it, you still could watch it, right? But the first one, it's like a synopsis. The first one kind of played on black people moving to white neighborhoods in the late, I think it was the 50s or 60s, right?
Oh,
Being the
it's the
only
worst time.
black family, yeah, being
It's
a
like,
black family
yeah.
in that type of neighborhood, but they incorporated some of the mental challenges that black people went through in those neighborhoods and stuff. And at one point, there's a point on there where there's a baby that's in the baby was put into this like sack and some stuff was done to the baby. Okay.
Did it die?
I can't I'm not gonna tell you
That's
that.
so sad. It
It's
was because of racism?
some of it
I'd probably
was.
be so angry watching this.
Yes.
I can't I can't take it when people like do shit to kids. Like it's never good when people do things that are, racist aggression towards anybody. But like
Hmm.
putting a baby in a sack, I can't. Man,
But
I'll
a
still
lot of it
watch
was
it.
like kind of meant
I'm glad
it
you
kind of
warned
played
me.
on yeah, it kind of played on
Ugh,
like yeah, I can't the second season was it doesn't make you well,
does it make you as angry?
it doesn't make you angry because it has nothing to do with racism. This one
Okay.
is more so about growing up in foster care,
Oh, okay.
the mental illness of the trauma that you get growing up in foster care and
Yeah.
being separated from your siblings.
So it affects
Um,
different like mental issues. So the first
yeah,
season was about racism, sex one the second one was about foster care. Is it set in
yeah.
the same period?
No, it's in the 80s going into the
Oh
90s.
wow. And the stories are not connected.
They're not connected. They're not connected and but um what is that guy's name that created it? You probably know who he is. Hold on, I'm gonna give you his name.
Yeah.
He's a heck of a filmmaker. His name is let's see. Mm, uh, Little Marvin.
Little
I don't know
Marv.
if you've ever heard of him, but
Uh
he's kind of like
Probably.
Jordan Peele, but a little more,
That's cool.
yeah. Executive
I'll have to
produced by
check out his stuff.
Lena Waithe. Yeah, Little Marvin.
I probably have seen some of his stuff. I just don't like I'm not putting a face to the name at the moment. But like now, I mean, I respect that. It's really cool to hear about other horror creators. That sounds
Mhm.
like a really interesting show. Why did you like the foster care one better? What elements did that have over the first season?
Well, the crazy thing about it, without telling you so much about it, because I
Right.
still think that you will watch it.
I'll
But
watch it. I'll watch it.
it I didn't start putting two and two together until episode 6, maybe. It's 10 episodes, so maybe 6 or 7. Um, there's this guy, and he wants to be an actor. That's all he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really have like family that he remembers outside of his sister.
Because he's in the foster care.
Yeah, he finds out. So like the acting stuff is going bad for him, and he's having all these mental things about him failing at that. And the plot twist is he finds out who his sister is, and he goes to visit her, but he doesn't get a chance to say that I'm your brother. His sister completely did not know who he was, don't even remember having a
that's
brother.
sad.
Long story short, everything that he's been going through is turning him into this like monster.
Yeah. Well, that series sounds like it explores like mental illness and
yes,
horror.
it is.
That one should be on that list you were talking about.
Yeah. It just came out, so that's probably why they don't have it up there yet.
Oh, is it 24? Like, is it very new?
Yeah.
Like this year? Wow.
Yeah, them just came out 2 weeks ago. This season. This season.
That's cool. That's cool.
The last season came out a couple years ago.
I'll watch that later tonight.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, let's go. It gives me another reason to keep my Prime subscription.
No, listen. When you see like when you watch this, you're gonna like message me and be like, Kevin.
Oh, I will. I always appreciate the recommendations.
Like this. This is what it looks like.
Oh, it's nice graphic design, man.
Yeah, very
Poster's
nice.
sick.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out. Yeah,
nice poster.
Crazy
the people
story.
that are in it. There's a guy that's a singer by the name of Luke James.
Okay, I feel like that rings a bell. Is he a legit singer?
Yeah.
Or is he a character? Oh no, so he's a singer playing a character.
Yeah, yep, he's a singer playing a character. Pam Grier is in this also.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a bunch of...
Luke James. I know Luke James.
Yeah.
I was like, he's in a couple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this right here, this character that he plays, I'm almost willing to bet he's gonna get some type of award.
Oh, good for him.
He killed this.
He killed it.
Yeah, when you watch it, you're gonna be like, yo, he really did kill that. I was saying that to my wife. I said Luke James killed this.
Luke James killed this. Yeah. He's pretty handsome too. I'll watch it just because of that. I was like, oh, hello, Luke James. That's so funny.
Don't let your boyfriend hear that.
Not my boyfriend. He's cool.
Does he still what does he direct, or he does what does your boyfriend do?
My current boyfriend is a lighting technician. He's a gaffer.
Okay.
His name is Alessandro.
So it's not the same guy from you told me about, like the first time we interviewed. Like
that was probably my ex.
He's in the movies too, right? He's in the movie business.
I had an ex-boyfriend, and he was a metal musician.
Okay.
And he turned out to
be I remember. Okay.
Yeah, he actually had a bunch of issues. His band completely broke up, and he had over, I think, 50 assault allegations against him. This was after me. I don't know what happened. I think he had like a whole mental break. But yeah, we're not in contact. So I have a new boyfriend, and he's not an abuser, so it's wonderful.
You're right.
Yeah, so it's really crazy because I was like, wow, you're a stereotype of like the terrible rock star, So I hope that anybody out there who, was hurt by him is okay. And it was really, really unfortunate to just like talk to a couple people who were mutuals with us. And I talked to his past girlfriend who was like a victim. And I told her, I was like, "Look, I'm really sorry about what you went through. I had no idea." Because when I was with him, I didn't see that. He honestly seemed pretty like soft to me, like a passive guy. So
Nice
I don't
guy,
know,
right?
but you never
Right.
know with people, and I guess I'll just leave it at that. Is you never know, who like you see these horrible crime cases, right? And it's like, oh, here was just a dude, or it was a wife, of someone, and then one day she kills and cooks her husband and feeds it to the kids. Like there was this woman, a case, Catherine Knight. It was a famous crime case because of how horrific it was. Her life, I'm very positive. She seemed like a normal person, like woman next door type thing. One day she killed her husband, cooked him, and dog. And it's like, what the fuck happened? So it's like you never know with these people. And it's just, gotta be aware of, I guess, signs and the people around you. And that's why I also appreciate you talking about mental health. It's like you don't know what's going on with anybody. And if someone does have like a mental illness that they're battling, there's nothing wrong with that. Just make
Right.
sure that you get help. And that doesn't mean
I
everybody
agree.
with mental illness is going to turn into something, you know wonderful, awesome people, everyday people that like just, most of us battle something, but
Right.
we have to just stay on top of our mental health. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, or something within you turns you into like my ex, like you just it's crazy. But yeah, no, that was a really wild story. And it was unfortunate because like his he was getting to a good point of his career. They were touring Japan, and like they were going to different countries, they're getting their name out there, getting on these big jobs, big tours, and then all of a sudden, um yeah, crashed. And because I wasn't really keeping contact with him after, like we were civil, and I was like, okay, but that doesn't mean like I'm gonna be your best friend. Like we were just cool. I was
Mhm.
moving on with my life. I was just trying to separate myself. um, but I had some mutuals, and I followed his band page still, and then all of a sudden I saw that there was like this message. They're like, "Oh, we have to shut the band down immediately. We're kicking this guy out. I'm so sorry to all these people." And I reached out to one of his band members, and I was like, "Yo, what happened?" Because we were cool.
Wow.
And yeah, they told me this whole story, and my jaw dropped. Like I never would have thought that this guy, who I felt was like, how like there's like the stereotypical, here's the man's man and the woman. Like I
Mhm.
felt I wore the pants. I felt I was kind of like the tougher one. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I was like, he's soft. But that's how I imagined him. And then all of a sudden I'm like, what do you mean he did that? I was
You
like,
be tough. Come on, Mena.
I know. But I was like, what do you mean he did that? Like I was genuinely so shocked. But it's cases like that. I mean, like you look at freaking like the Dahmer series, and like you could pick things up in their life that like brought them to that. But like you've got neighbors, you've got these people who see them every day and have no idea what's going on. Did you ever see that one Ted Bundy
Mhm.
series? I think it was a movie with like Lily Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it was
It
on
was it was more
Netflix, I think, wasn't it? Was it
Yeah, it was
Netflix?
like more
Yeah.
focused on Ted Bundy's like girlfriend, and how she's like not trying to believe this is true, but then she's like, "How? What are you talking about? He's doing all these things." Like that's how I felt when I discovered it. But then at the same time, I was like, "Wow, I dodged a bullet." Yeah,
And how
so
how long were y'all together?
like I think 4 years. Yeah, but
Okay.
in that time, it wasn't nothing was like happening, at least that I'm aware of. But like I mean, no, like all the cases that were coming out happened when he hit this big tour. So I think that like, I tried to like really psychoanalyze him and stuff, but I feel like something happened to him in his life where it gave him this break, and the fame was I don't know, he exposing him to more people, and he felt that he had this sense of power where he could try to get away with things like that. But it's like you can't, you know?
Right.
And I
You're
was I
right.
was really happy that the band members didn't tolerate it. So you know, it's terrible that it happened, but I'm glad they put a stop to it, because you can't let people get away with things like that. So, I mean, you could say we absolutely do not have any contact now. Like, it's
Hmm.
crazy. But yeah, crazy things happen. And I guess it's also good that like social media kind of helps bring light to some of these things because back in the time where like I think it was like the 70s when like big rock stars are doing all this shit, like a lot of things were just getting passed by, you
I
know.
agree.
It's just the kind of lifestyle. Not everybody, of course, but like a lot of things like that, like were overlooked.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Who is this person?
That's me with effort. That's so funny.
Who is that to you like today, looking back at this photo? How old were you then?
Um, I'm not sure. It was a couple years ago, but that's me when I go to photo shoots. Like I get dressed up and glammed up when I do shoots, but I decided on podcasts, I'm just at the moment not gonna do that.
Yeah. I was asking you that because I feel like, do you feel like you're still that same person? Like have you or like what would you tell like the younger you today? Like what's one thing that you would tell if you were able to meet your younger self? What would you say?
What would I say? That's a really great question. I mean, I think that through my career, one of the biggest things is trust yourself. And I would say that to anybody else too, is don't let people hold you back. I've worked with several people who, I really trusted and wanted to have this big teamwork with. And sometimes it just doesn't work out, and you have to be okay cutting people out and just believing in yourself and moving on. So I would say, let things go, roll with it, and trust yourself over anything.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah. I would also tell her like, keep on dressing up for shit. It's put more effort into things. I'm like, oh man, I did get a little lazy. But you could see my gaming chair, so
but you play a lot of games.
yeah, I've been playing just like a lot of Animal Crossing lately, but I play a lot of games. I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. So
Okay.
yeah. So, this is me outside of the photo shoots or formal in front of camera interviews. I have lately been doing several magazine and podcast interviews, which is very cool, and I'm grateful that people want to talk to me at all. But I feel like because I've been doing them, I'm like, yeah, let me just do this one in my car. Let me do this one over here. I think the biggest thing is not even that. I just try to make time for everything. I
Mm,
try to fit everything in. And sometimes can't do all the theatrics, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just get out there, meet people, talk to people, like just do it. So I'm like, you know what? If I wake up and I'm back from work and I get back here, I'm like, no, I'm gonna fit the podcast in and I'm gonna fit the interview in. So it's fun. I love
nice.
doing it. But
I,
will I have blue hair again? Probably not. I'm done dyeing my hair. I killed it. But yeah, so natural hair now, but probably same style.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah, no.
So last time we talked, I remember you were preparing for like a movie premiere, red carpet event.
Yeah. So that was very fun. I went to the premiere. I helped host it for The Undead, which is a feature film, and it is now available on Tubi, Amazon Prime, I think Apple TV. Really cool. It is not my story. It is a friend of mine, this guy Bud Rebel. He wrote the story, and I helped him bring it to life. So it was really cool doing that. I directed the project, got the crew together, the whole thing. We worked on it for 2 weeks straight, no breaks, like 12-hour days, which is crazy, and I'm not going to do that again. I was like, we need weekends. This is insane.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience, and it's really cool to go to a premiere for a movie that I worked on, We had Burke Floyd in the movie. He was from Dawson's Creek, and a woman, Tana Frederick. She's done a lot of theater and featured in a couple other movies. Our lead was this lady, Abby Gumper, who's a great friend of mine now. Um, we had a fantastic team of people, and having it come together for a red carpet premiere is really great. And me, because I'm extra and bougie when I want to be, I got a limo. So I was like, got a limo, picked up some actors and some friends of mine, and I was like, we're going out to the movie premiere. So I was like, first stop at the liquor store. So but it was funny because we're all formally dressed, and we like go into the store, and I'm like, no, it's okay, dude, just give me some champagne. So I made a fun day out of it.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool premiere. We got this theater, booked the place, packed the place out, and I was really happy because Bud, who was the writer, when he was giving a speech, everyone gave him a standing ovation. So warmed
Nice.
my
That's nice.
heart. It was really good to see. You always want to see your writers doing well, and getting the recognition and the audience that, connecting with the audience that likes them. So I was really happy about that. It was a good turnout, and we had a great time. We are probably going to do other events, and we were actually talking to a producer in Ohio for doing a horror festival, a horror convention. So maybe you'll see me there.
Hey, you gotta let me know.
I absolutely will. It'll be a fun time, and I'll obviously be popping out and talking to people. We might have a booth. I don't know the details. I don't know if we're gonna lock it, but we're dabbling on the idea of it because Ohio actually has a pretty good horror community. So we're like, let's connect with people, because even not for this project, which obviously we want to promote, but we've got some other projects coming down the line. The writer, because he was so pleased, and I'm happy about that, obviously, it presented me with 2 more scripts, and he's like, let's make another movie. So, we are in the process right now of going through the script, and I'm trying to bring some creative suggestions to the table. At the end of the day, it's the writer's project, so he could take what he wants and what he doesn't want from my suggestions. But trying to put a little more flair on the project of, my personal pizzazz. And so seeing what he would, and we will go from there and make it a solid movie. He wants the next one to be a little more thrillery, like action thrillery. So there's going to be horror elements in it. A little psychological, which is more my flavor. So I'm hyped for that. But yeah, once that's all together, because right now we're working on the script, we'll go into the funding and pre-production phase of trying to get some producers on board. So it's
Nice.
cool. I'm glad we got more stuff in the works.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's super dope. So you had a good time. Okay.
Had a great time. And also learning about distribution right now more, as this film goes out into different networks, and we're talking to other countries to have it streamed. The future projects, obviously, because we want each project to be better than the next. I'll learn more about the process of getting it out there and what to do and what not to do. So that one will be even better than this. And the experience, I hope, will skyrocket. So, we're stoked.
That's dope. Yeah, Ohio has a convention every year. It's called Horror Hound Weekend.
That's the one. That's the one. Horror
Okay.
Hound. Yeah. So we were seeing if we wanted to go to Horror Hound. Yeah, I was like, the name, I forgot it for a second, but yeah, that's it.
Yep, Horror Hound Weekend. I mean, anyone is there. Like,
yeah. Well, if we do end up going, I hope to see you. That would be
you
awesome.
gotta let me know so I can get tickets, because those tickets sell out. So as soon as you know that you're like going to be have a booth there, you gotta tell me so I can
Hell
go
yeah,
get the tickets.
I'd love to introduce you to the team. It'd be really sick.
That'd be dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be dope for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. You got anything else that you want to promote, like your social media, your any of that?
Yeah. So if anybody wants to keep up with what I'm doing, I'm most active on Instagram. My Instagram is at Mena Guy. That is MEnaGuy. It's just my name. You can find me on other social platforms with that name. I think just to the public though, I'm mostly on Instagram. I mean, you can find me on Facebook, but I think I at least read all my DMs and stuff every day on Instagram. You know. I'm making a website soon, which will be a collective of all my podcasts, interviews, write-ups, and stuff. So if you guys want to even like dive more into my life, everything will be collectively there. I don't have it yet, but I'm sure the next time we chat, I'll tell you about it. So yeah, but I'll be posting about that on my Instagram too. So, everything up to date is there.
Cool. Okay. Well, listen, y'all. Every time we had this discussion, it's always a fun time. Having Mena on. I appreciate you, wanting to do this again because, like
Absolutely.
I said, I wanted to make up for the last time it was so many technical things going on.
Oh, it's okay. It happens because sometimes when you want something, it's like it doesn't work out, but I think what's important is being a problem solver, and you're like, let's just do another podcast. So, I always enjoy talking. I'm always happy to be back. So it's no problem for me.
So this is not going to be the last time y'all hear from her. I mean, like every time she do something, we'll
update it. We'll have more fun.
We're going to update it. Yeah, we got to talk about this horror hound stuff off camera here in a second. So yeah, this is Mena Guy. This is Happy Hour with Lito, and y'all be cool.
All right, thanks.
Listen, I'd like to offer you something. It's my cabin. It's where I go to find solace. It's where I found my faith.
We're supposed to be staying at our friend Adam's house?
I can drop you off if you like.
It is an unbearable weight you must carry. But you all carry. It may offer an opportunity for healing.
This is the unfortunate truth.
Amen.
This is no time to relax. War, plague.
I know where to find you.
I'm not speaking metaphorically.
Who are you?
This isn't a delusion. There will be no chariots.
Glasses in the air. Toast to a higher power. Cause what you tuning into right now is Lito's Happy Hour.
Thanks for watching Happy Hour with Lito podcast. Check out Happy Hour with Lito podcast on Facebook, Happy Hour with Lito pod on Instagram, Lito's Happy Hour on Twitter, and also make sure to check us out on Happy Hour with Lito podcast on YouTube. Happy Hour with Lito is a Sinista1 production.
The others they just talking and we bout the action. Glasses in the air. Toast to a higher power. This is Lito's Happy Hour.